Hey, you're here, right on time. Back for story time, I see. And we have got a classic today. The OGs. Ladies and gentlemen, the final superhero film of 2025 and what I consider to be the next big step towards redemption for the Marvel Cinematic Universe is here, right on time. Fantastic Four, First Steps. I gotta tell you, in a time where superhero films have definitely become a little oversaturated, and we've definitely gotten a lot of them this year. We had Captain America Brave New World in February, Thunderbolts in May, DC's Superman just came out a couple of weeks ago, and now we have Fantastic Four, First Steps. In the realm of Marvel, of course, I've talked about before how Marvel has been kind of, you could say, hit and miss over the last 4 to 5 years. It had to do to some recasting and some recalibrating on more than one occasion, and it really hurt their pacing there for a while. But I think this year they finally started to get things back on track. In February, we had Captain America Brave New World, which I found to just be kind of mediocre. Truly. I definitely feel that one could have been a little better. However, in May, we got Thunderbolts, which I really liked a lot. And now, this new Fantastic Four movie, I feel, is a good second step towards getting us returning to the good old days of Marvel. I thoroughly believe that Marvel can return to where it was circa the times of Captain America's Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. I believe they can get back there if they play their cards right. Of course, for the first time in a long time, they actually have some competition with the DC universe now back in full swing. Superman just premiered a couple of weeks ago, and it was very, very good. That new universe over there, under the belt of James Gunn, a veteran of Marvel, is going to give them some competition now. I tell you though, Marvel definitely did good saving this Fantastic Four for right after DC's Superman release, though, because I think that this is the best Marvel film we've gotten since Avengers Endgame. And I don't say that lightly. For those of you unfamiliar with Fantastic Four, which is probably not many of you, they were Marvel's original team. They came before the X-Men, before the Avengers, before the Inhumans, before the Eternals, before the Defenders, before any team that exists in the Marvel Universe. They were the OG team. Now, me personally, I wouldn't say I was like a die-hard Fantastic Four fan growing up. I'm well aware of the characters and their powers and abilities and backstories and stuff. My favorite team was always the X-Men, and I'm definitely looking forward to when they finally get their updated reboot here in a couple years. It won't be till after the next Avengers, but still looking forward to it. Now, this new Fantastic Four movie follows in the footsteps of several sort of mediocre iterations of them that we've gotten in the past. The 2005 and 2007 movies weren't like completely horrible. They were a bit cornball though. Now, believe it or not, I've never seen the 2015 version, or what people like to call Fan 4-stick. I may have to actually sit down and watch that at some point and see just how bad it actually is, because I've heard a lot of things. Yeah, even without seeing that, I can tell you that this is the best live-action Fantastic Four movie we've ever gotten. Right off the bat, one of the biggest reasons why this new Fantastic Four film works so well and why it feels so fresh is because it exists in a different version of Earth. Now, if you've seen the Loki show, then you know that there are several different timelines and several different planes of existence. This is a different version of Earth from what we've been seeing. So there's no obligation to really try and tie things into what we've already seen in the MCU. This universe we see in here exists in its own world with its own characters. And believe it or not, the way they put this movie together actually reminds me a lot of how they did the new Superman movie, how DC did the new Superman movie. This is not a full-blown origin story for the Fantastic Four. We've seen that already. When this movie opens, they are already the Fantastic Four and have been for a few years. Now, while there's notions and, some kind of sprinkling in of how they got their powers in there, they don't sugarcoat it with another 3 hour-long origin story. They jump right into a world that is already fully developed and integrated with these superhumans existing in them. Pedro Pascal plays Reed Richards, or Mr. Fantastic. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, or the Invisible Woman. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch, and Eben Moss-Backrack as Ben Grimm, the Thing. Overall here, the casting is fantastic. Pedro Pascal is the only one here that I feel, I don't want to say he's miscast. I mean, he does a very good job, but I don't know. I sort of just don't buy him as the smartest man in the world. I love Pedro Pascal, I do. You know, this is probably a lot just kind of due to the fact that I might be suffering from Pedro Pascal oversaturation, which I know a lot of people are now. People have been talking about that a while. I mean, the man has been in 5 projects within the last year. He currently has 3 movies that are in theaters right now, at this moment. We have Materialists, Eddington, and now this. But anyway, I digress. He definitely does very well in this leadership role. I just simply don't buy him as a genius level intellect. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm is very well cast. She was kind of the standout to me here. She brilliantly portrays this character from the perspective of a protective mother, not just over her baby, but also her family. Also, the casting couldn't be better for Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, and Ben Grimm, the Thing. Joseph Quinn, who most people have come to know as Eddie Munson from the last season of Stranger Things, whose career just blew up after that. In the last 3 years, he's been in so much stuff. He plays Johnny Storm with a kind of subtle, dry humor that we expect, and it works extremely well, especially the chemistry he has with him and Ben Grimm, the Thing. Eben Moss-Backrack, fresh off of his role as Richie in The Bear, plays Ben Grimm / the Thing with conviction and humanity. You can tell he is a kind, humble person, but also haunted a bit by his cursed appearance he now has, and his inability to live a normal life because of it. That being said, I do wish that they had dove into his character and focused on the aspect of him facing his demons a little bit more. Of all the characters in the movie, the Thing is definitely the most underutilized, both in characterization and in action, and that's too bad because he's such a cool character. I wish they had just taken a little bit more time and expanded on him and given him his due diligence a bit more. Of course, this would not be a superhero movie without some great villains, and we have 2 classic villains in here that are staples for the Fantastic Four. We, of course, have Shalabal, or the Silver Surfer, played in here by Julia Garner. Let me just say, her Silver Surfer is the most menacing and brooding version of this character I've ever seen. She is absolutely amazing in here. She ate this role up. Everybody was, of course, all up in arms because Silver Surfer was a woman for some reason, which is stupid. There is a female version of the Silver Surfer in the comics. I mean, come on, the way she delivers this line.
I herald his beginning. I herald your end. I herald Galactus.
It just sends a shiver down your spine. Speaking of which, of course, I cannot talk about this review without mentioning the prime villain, the behemoth planet swallower, Galactus. This is a character / villain that Marvel fans have been pining to see on the big screen for a very long time. Galactus is a fan favorite and very well known. Now, all I'm going to say is that they save the best for the film. Like, what you see in the trailer is nothing compared to like what you actually get on screen. It is awesome and epic. They did such a great job with Galactus, although I will say we could have used a little bit more of him, and I know that they're probably going to save that for later films, because believe me, we have not seen Galactus's full power yet. He does, I feel, get defeated a little too easily, but I feel like they kind of just wanted to bring him in and introduce him quickly in this film, which I get. I could have used a little bit more, though, but I know we'll probably get a little bit more. What I praise this movie for is its seething originality. Like the new Superman, it throws you into a world that already exists with characters that are already established. And you have to spend about the first, I'd say 30 minutes kind of playing catch up. But once you're on board, you are freaking on board. You know, like a surfboard that's silver. Is that part of your body, by the way? My biggest critique about this movie is that we don't get to spend as much time with some characters as I would have liked to. As I mentioned earlier, you know, the Thing, and I kind of wish we would have gotten to see Sue Storm and Reed Richards' relationship fleshed out a little bit more. I'm not gonna lie, this movie's plot also changes about 3 times. I mean, when the movie first opens, they're doing one thing, then they're on a mission to do something else, then they have to come up with a solution after getting back from said mission, and then it's like, oh crap, that didn't work, hey, let's try this instead, we're gonna throw this together real quick. So the movie, you know, for being 2 hours, moves at a very brisk pace, can sometimes be a bit jarring. I mean, don't get up and go to the bathroom at the wrong time. That's all I have to say, because when you come back, you're gonna be like, wait, they're doing this now? Oh, okay. I mean, it's okay though. I mean, it's pretty easy for you to play catch up. Just a little nitpick I have from somebody that has to use the bathroom during movies quite a bit. Yeah, guys, I've already talked quite a bit in depth about the movie, and I still have not really given anything away as far as plot goes, and I don't want to. I want you all to go out and experience this movie. I say enjoy it, because, believe it or not, this is the last superhero movie that we are going to get until DC Supergirl comes out next summer. Enjoy it! Yeah. I had such a fun time with this movie, and it is definitely the best Marvel film we've gotten in a while. I'm going to give Fantastic Four First Steps an 8.2 out of 10. Now then, as you can see, okay, I think it's time to go. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
Galactus. Galactic.